Hello, everybody. Welcome to the film.
No, there's no the.
Film Canister podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed that great intro we just played. We spent a while working on it. You know, I hope it's not like shit.
What do you mean? You hope you heard it?
Oh yeah, I hope it wasn't shit. I hope you guys don't find it shitty. The people listening to this.
Nice save.
I feel like we should say who we are, Luke.
Oh, okay. My name is Luke Donovan. What's your name?
Which one? There's three of us in the call.
Anyway.
My name is Jack McGrath.
All right, my name is Manny. Follow me on Instagram, Letterboxd at Manny Zev. So there we go. Tegan, you're next.
I don't know what to say.
Your name.
You've been 3 examples before.
What else?
Wait, I don't want to say my full name. That feels so weird.
Okay, you can be just a first namer.
Okay, my name's Tegan.
Okay, it's a bit mysterious, you know.
Yeah.
Tegan, who? Ooh, no one knows. Okay, let's pitch the concept. Here I have a jar.
We have a jar.
That's me poking the cap. This is me tapping sides.
I feel like it's a bit misleading to call it film can when it's a jar.
It's not a film can.
Well, it's like a synonym, right?
Okay, that's true.
We need to define canister right now.
So this is a movie discussion podcast with a twist. And the twist is that we're going to go in turns recommending a movie to discuss, but can't just be any movie. In this jar here, we've written a bunch of sort of scenarios. So it could be a genre, a director, or just like something that I like that someone else in the game hates. Just something like that. Some prompt to start a discussion or to give a recommendation. And the movie will come from the jar. So that is the concept. That's why I've called it the film canister, because jars are canisters.
We've called it film canister because it makes more sense.
And film comes in canisters. And we also have another jar canister for pulling the names of the person who's going to be picking.
Yeah. It was going to be the cum jar, but we decided against it.
We just got an explicit tag on Apple Podcast.
Sorry about that.
Okay, should we just go ahead with it?
Yeah, let's start it.
Let's
All right.
see it.
Shake it up. Give us an audio.
For those of you listening, you can't see it, but Luke's shaking up the jar vigorously.
Luke's shaking the jar.
Okay, it's like the Hunger Games.
Can you put on the makeup that what the fuck? Who's that actress?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know.
In the Hunger Games.
There's many an actress in the Hunger Games.
No, but
Oh, you mean like the presenter lady who does like the...
What, Elizabeth Banks?
Elizabeth Banks, thank you.
All right.
We're peeling it open.
You ready?
This is
I'm excited. I'm sweating.
I have orange pants.
Tegan!
Whoa!
Let's go.
That means it's gonna be a good movie.
That means it's going to be Blue Velvet.
And now
Can I stick my hand in?
Tegan's sticking her hand into the other. Shake it up for the.
With the cap on, Tegan.
Yeah, we're gonna get them flying everywhere.
With the cap off.
All right. Also, if you have suggestions for scenarios that should be in the canister, send them in to the podcast in the YouTube comments. Yeah.
Pick a disturbing film that's not technically horror.
Ooh.
That's
This is a good Tegan genre.
So no Eraserhead then.
I'm already having a bad time.
I guess the rule's just like if it doesn't have the horror tag on Letterboxd,
Yeah,
but it's still
right?
disturbing.
I mean, is that what defines horror? Like,
Okay.
No, but the thing is, it's not technically horror, but it's disturbing. That's what's written in
True.
there.
what defines that technicality?
Me.
Okay.
If she finds it disturbing.
You can check the genres on Letterboxd.
Yeah, you can look under genre.
But, my question is Letterboxd the authority for what is and isn't a genre?
No, but
Okay.
we're just going off of it.
So I guess I'll play some
alright.
Jeopardy music while Tegan decides. So we're back. Tegan's got her choice.
Ooh.
Okay, I'm gonna do Come and See. We're gonna watch Come and
Ooh.
See.
Oh, shit.
shit.
I really want to watch that.
Yeah, I've been looking for an excuse to watch Come and See.
Yeah, me too. Isn't that like top 3 highest rated movies on Letterboxd ever?
I think it is the top highest rate. Oh no,
Parasite,
Parasite's
yeah.
top. Come and See's almost the top. It's 2.
Yeah. All right, cool.
How's everybody feeling about it going into it?
I'm excited to watch. I don't know if I'm excited to watch this, but I'm glad I have an excuse to watch it finally. Yeah.
First off, I'm gonna say I'm really glad they switched the poster back on Letterboxd.
Did they change it?
Because the current poster looks really cool and like psychedelic, but when it was the Criterion cover, I like hated it because it looked gross.
Is the Criterion cover the painting? 1 second. Oh yeah, I do like this cover.
Tegan likes the Criterion more.
Yeah, I like the Criterion more,
I think the Criterion cover's gross.
but I think it's kind of funny because the main actor looks like a young David Lynch.
Oh my god, he totally does.
I pointed this out when me and Luke were first watching the movie. I pointed it out, and he was like, "He doesn't look like David Lynch," and I was like, "He literally does." But okay.
This cover makes it not look like a war movie though. It almost looks like a Climax Guy movie with the poster.
Oh, Gaspar Noé.
Almost looks like the poster for a Gaspar Noé movie.
Is it No
I
Way
think
or
it's
no?
No
I think
Way.
it's no way. I've never heard anyone say no.
People pronounce shit weirdly. I hate how YMS says Hanukkah.
Hanukkah.
Hanukkah. It's not.
He's like he says like Michael. He it's like he has something stuck in the back of his throat. He's just like he's just like overcompensating and like putting on an accent he doesn't really have, which is just annoying.
Michael Hanukkah. All of us need to promise to not be that pretentious.
American film YouTubers, when they see a foreign name they can't pronounce, so that they can overpronounce it.
But then when people say Villanueva, it's like come
Ew.
on. It's not that hard. You're making it harder for yourself.
Or it's like when a Jeremy Johns watches Parasite and he's like Bong Joon-ho. It's like you don't need to say it so complicatedly. Anyway, I'm gonna go. I'll cut to our discussion. But before we go into it, what's everybody's gut feeling before they watch it?
I'm a little scared.
Yeah, honestly, me too.
I'm excited.
I know a child got shot at in real life while making this movie. So the content of it.
Like, what? Did they die? What?
No, he's not
What?
dead. There's just like, isn't there a scene where he's like running from like a mounted machine gun?
Well, we'll see, right? We'll see.
We'll talk about it in 5 seconds.
Okay, so we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
See you in a few moments, everybody.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
See ya.
Coming up on Film Canister, full spoilers for Come and See 1985. The IMDb plot description reads, after finding an old rifle, a young boy joins the Soviet resistance movement against the ruthless German forces and experiences the horrors of World War II. And we're back.
We're
from
back.
watching
Crazy.
Come and See. Everyone said how they felt going into it. How do we feel coming out of it?
I feel
Okay,
violated mildly.
that's one way of putting it.
It feels like, you know that scene from A Clockwork Orange where they sit him down and they like put the things in his eyes?
Yeah.
It feels like I voluntarily did that.
That's what happens when the movie's called Come and See.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's fucking easily the best war, or I guess anti-war movie I've ever seen.
yeah.
I agree.
Might be in my top 10, I think.
It's
Like,
in my
that was
top 10. I think I
incredible.
just put it in today.
Like, as in your top 10, like, ever?
Period, yeah.
Yeah, period, honestly.
Oh, okay. I thought you had like a weird like war, like anti-war
no.
ranking, and I was like,
No. I've only seen like 2 like war movies that I really love. Like I didn't think something would beat like I know you guys aren't a huge fan of the Kubrick one.
I like Full Metal Jacket.
No, that's just me. I'm the only one of you that doesn't like Full Metal Jacket that much.
I love Full Metal Jacket.
Full Metal
Yeah,
Jacket.
Full Metal Jacket. I thought like that would be the best war movie I'd ever see, but this is like somehow even better. And I wouldn't say, no, it's not the same structure, but it almost kind of acts in the same way of like, there are moments where it's sort of like the first little section of this movie is kind of like lighthearted
Mm-hmm.
in some ways, like with how everything I've heard about this and how it's like it's the most like evil kind of depressing, just like sobering war film you'll ever see.
There's some funny ass stuff.
Yeah, like at the beginning, like when the kids are like goofing around with the old man and they're like shouting at each other.
Yeah.
The fucking dude drinking the milk.
The kid in the beginning who
Yeah.
who has that like really like scraggly voice. He just feels like he doesn't feel like real. He feels like one of those kids on the playground. And you're just like
Get out of the bushes.
Like you just
Some
like
shit.
actually ignore on purpose because you're scared.
He sounds like the the voice that the kid in The Shining does for Danny.
That's true. That's true. And or like when he first arrives at the camp, like the whole like group photo scene where they keep like adding new people, like, oh, the general is coming in.
Yeah.
Oh, ew. I hate it. For some reason. Oh my God. When there's like big crowds like enjoying things, it makes me cringe and I don't know why.
She doesn't like when everyone's like,
oh.
oh.
I have a really big problem with like oohing and like, oh.
Tegan doesn't like when people are happy.
I don't like it when crowds are happy. It's like really gross.
So can I just say, I think that's one of the best openings to a movie I've ever seen.
I might agree.
Like you think they're just fucking around in the sand, and then you don't realize till he picks up the rifle like what he's trying to do.
Yeah, that you're like digging for dead soldiers' guns to like join the war.
And then I'm like, oh fuck.
And then like in that moment, the fucking recurring like ominous plane sound comes in, and then you just get the shot of the plane overhead.
Yeah, I love how foreboding the Germans are.
Mm-hmm. And that happens so much in this movie where it's like they don't show the enemy in frame.
Yeah.
It's like somewhere in the background and you're just left watching the characters stuck in the open, and it's just constantly this constant tension of like you don't know where the enemy is because they're not in frame.
Yeah.
And you don't know when they might appear, and you're just like stuck with the characters as they wander around, and it's like just constantly sort of foreboding.
I don't think you actually see the Germans as like a force until the I might be wrong, but until the end.
I guess until he gets captured, right?
Yeah, it's only like audio cues, and I think that's fucking crazy.
I'm like not a huge fan of like over the shoulder conversation shots. I don't know. Those are like aren't my thing, but I really like these like head on portraits, like that were very deadpan. The portraits were phenomenal. People need to calm down. Every like film teacher or photo teacher I've literally ever had has been like, guys, symmetry in portraits is boring. And it's like, no, it's not. Like you're just like bad at like.
That's like, I feel like it's the opposite. I love like symmetrical portrait shots.
I do too. I literally shoot all my like photography. Like I shoot a lot of my photography very like in the center, very like deadpan. And my teacher's like, do it from a different angle. It's like, no, it looks good like this. But.
Yeah. And sort of how it keeps coming back to like these back and forth between the main kid and what's her name? Glasha, yeah. And how they bring it back right at the end, like the final shot head on of like her with, what was that, like a harmonica or a flute that she just has in her mouth?
Oh, I think it was a casing for bullets. That wasn't actually her though.
Was it?
No, I think she got put in the van and like assaulted by all those officers, and then that was her after.
No, I didn't think that was actually her. I thought that was just some woman that looked like her.
I thought that was Glasha at the end carrying the thing in her mouth when there was like blood coming out.
Let me consult Wikipedia, see what they see.
But also like hearing about this movie, I was expecting it to just be like this very dark, grim, sort of gray movie. Yeah. But the colors are like gorgeous.
Literally, even in the first shot, I was like, oh my God.
Oh my God, I love the shade of green.
The greens are stunning. The opening shot, there's so many like there's like the subdued kind of greens and like light browns from the sand. And, like the grayish blue of the sky.
Yeah, the muted like kind of like pepperminty like Everest green was so pretty.
Yeah.
The movie was like incredibly peaceful for like the first half hour until like the initial bombing scene. The effects, like did they actually fucking blow up the forest for that? Because
I think they did.
So, yeah.
I think they did.
That looked real. That looked.
Yeah, they did. They actually shot at the kid. So
they actually did like real machine guns too.
Yeah.
Was that during the cow scene?
I don't know. I literally Googled right away if that cow.
We don't know
died.
if the cow died.
I'm gonna pretend it didn't because I need that for sanity.
I'm pretty sure that cow actually died.
I don't know how else would they make that cow move like that. That was like.
But when it got shot, there weren't any bullet holes. Like in the shot where it got.
Well, I mean, the bullets could have been really tiny, right?
Yeah, you can't see them.
Maybe.
But I don't know. I need to think that the cow didn't die so I can feel like
I don't see what point there would be to killing the cow when there really wasn't like a shot where it like died, really.
Yeah.
Right? Like it kind of just went from it like squirming around a bit.
He was cutting it eventually. In the
but that could have been like a prop.
You never like distinctly saw it go in. It was like almost cut off. Wikipedia says it's a young woman bearing a strong resemblance to Glasha.
Oh, okay.
What is their source for that? I always thought it was because she had blood running down her legs, so I thought all the officers like did something awful to her.
Oh no, that's definitely what happened to that woman, but I don't think that was Glasha herself.
I thought it was Glasha because Glasha got put in the van. Yeah, she got put. I thought that was her.
I don't think that was her.
No, I'm pretty sure it's the same. Like, how would she have gotten there?
Yeah.
Well, either way, they're trying to suggest some like that was like the progression of that.
What I found really interesting is how in the last like third of the movie, the characters almost like don't matter anymore. Like he leaves behind all the main characters, and it just becomes like this documentary.
You just watch how his day gets progressively worse.
Mm-hmm.
Once he arrives at the town, he just becomes seems like another person who's just observing it every.
Oh, I never thought about that.
Yeah, he doesn't say anything. He doesn't feel like when they're all crammed into the barn, he's just like another face in the crowd.
He barely even says anything.
It stops being a narrative and it starts just being like a showcase of like human atrocities in World War II.
Yeah.
The horrors.
Honestly, like probably the most like moving part of it though is the end. The guy shooting the frame and like everything in like reverse. That was like crazy. Like at least I felt like it was challenging the question of like, would you kill like baby Hitler?
Yeah, would you kill him?
And then he like stops.
And because it's like he's shooting at the painting, but then like
it gets to him and his mom when he's a baby, and then he just stops.
Like comparing him to like Hitler as a child, like he sort of sees a bit of himself in Hitler, and so he stops shooting.
Well, yeah, it's because it's like I guess the whole movie's about like how the youth can just be like destroyed by like these atrocities, and then he just sees himself then. But it's also like I think that scene wouldn't have worked without everything we'd just seen.
Oh my god!
You know?
Yeah, no, I agree.
Like I feel like it could be in any other movie, and it might be kind of cheesy.
Yeah, it definitely needed all the context,
especially with like the physical change that the actor goes through.
Yeah,
like by the end of the movie, he looks like he's 100 years older than when he started.
Yeah.
And his eyes are like all fucking dry and like he's got the huge ass bags.
And like the combination of like the makeup on his character at the end and just how visually emotive he is. Like this has got to be the greatest like visual performance I've ever seen.
Yeah, he's got so much like emotional range.
Like you can see so much just in his eyes alone.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I think it also helps that his skin is very like loose, so he can very easily like wrinkle it, which adds to like his emotions. But I also think that the makeup was like really good. I was thinking about the scene where that man was like dying and he was all burnt, and like how the skin looked like lifted up from itself.
Mm-hmm.
That really stuck out to me as well.
That was like probably like my favorite makeup in that entire thing. I thought that was like so well done. It looks so like real and like greasy.
There's so many great like comparisons and like motifs that you see like at the start, but then you see how they change towards the end. Like in the first sort of like group photograph at the start at the camp, like everyone's happy and smiling and laughing. But then like something I really liked is in that like first photography scene, as they're taking the photo, there's like a very subtle dolly zoom onto the group of people, and that's just kind of like
that's another thing I found really interesting about the cinematography is the way they introduced more people into the shot. They like zoomed out and it was like there was more people in the crowd joining, and it would make it look like there really wasn't like much of a change, but like there was, because it was like so many people were joining in. I don't know. They did that when they were leaving to the first battle when he got left behind.
The camera does so many things. It's like, I love the way it moves. In the camp scene when he's cleaning out the pot, how it like circles around him and then it flips to see all like the people following Glasha, like giving her the flowers.
Yeah.
It fucking catch me every time.
That food looked disgusting.
Oh my god.
They were literally eating like little boy water.
I know, it must have cleaned the pot out after he left.
That entire scene is so crazy to me because like everything about it, you can tell it's just him trying to deny the fact that they're gone.
Yeah.
Like he's eating and he's like, oh, taste it, it's good. And he's fucking lying to himself. And then he looks at the dolls and he's like,
oh my god. And then as they're leaving the house, as it's like a tracking shot and it just briefly shows the pile of bodies on the house.
oh my god, the body reveal is like so fucking good.
I feel like that's when the movie really is like, there's no recovering.
Yeah,
because then
when
there's
his,
that
like,
whole
parents are
fucking
dead.
distressing sequence where he's like going through the mud and shit.
That scene was exhausting.
That's when you first really realize how good of a fucking actor this kid is. Like the faces he makes during that scene, they're genuinely scary.
I don't think any actor has been able to express just horror in a face like he has.
You really feel the guilt that he feels in that one scene where the guy's like, oh yeah, it's your fault that the entire village got killed. Like the burning guy.
Oh my
it's like,
God.
he's like, you shouldn't have looked for that gun. I told you so. And then he's like walking away and he has that look on his face.
Oh, he sticks his head in the mud.
And you feel like guilty for him because he's like had that placed on him.
I hated him all throughout the first act. I genuinely hated the kid. I hate how much he idolized and like romanticized war.
Yeah, and his like mom's like begging him, please don't go. And he's like, no, it's gonna be so fun.
That scene, with the context of the rest of the movie, like that scene is one of the most horrifying in the entire movie because that's exactly what happened.
The opening like 30 minutes could be seen as lighthearted without knowing what happens next, but I'd imagine going back and rewatching just with the weight of knowing everything, that just becomes so much more disturbing. It's like, oh, it's the calm before the storm. They're all like laughing and it's like all joking around just because they have no idea what's fucking coming, or like,
I mean, on rewatch, it's like this whole like idea of like going out to war being like going to summer camp. Like they even say that in the movie.
Yeah.
It's like his attitude towards like death
Yeah.
and like war is like it goes from one moment to being like playing cops and robbers as a kid to like you're hiding from like a plane above you, like an actual plane.
Yeah.
And you like have to like take off your jacket and like hide your gun under like a pile of hay.
And it's like, yeah, is growing up like that in that environment, like conditioning kids to think that's just like a normal thing. So that's what they can make a game out of to like cope.
I mean, that's how like you get people to join the war. You like condition everyone into thinking it's like a big like propaganda like cycle. It's like you make people think that it's like some like ideal like fun time with the guys, and then it's like that's how you get kids to join.
That's exactly why he joined. I mean, he looked at it as just people having fun with like toys, right?
That's the kind of the whole like arc of the movie though, right? Like this
like
whole like
realizing what it actually is.
kind of a coming of age movie in a really fucked up way.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And it's like the whole thing is like about this sort of like childhood innocence being like ripped away in like the most brutal way possible, and that comes full circle when he like can't kill the baby Hitler.
Metaphorically.
That's the full like scope of the movie, I feel like, and is in that like idea.
You know, the movie, when he's shooting at the painting and you're seeing all the like archive footage, that's like 3 minutes from the end, and the movie's not over like fucking giving its message and yelling at you, showing you all this disturbing shit. I remember like there's one piece of footage where I'm not gonna remember it perfectly, but it's this dude and he's incredibly skinny.
Oh yeah. I know
Oh
what
my
you mean.
God,
He's
that-
walking towards the camera.
And he looks like he's being
Yeah.
like he's being showcased by some officer.
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you're
Like
talking
that made
about.
me sit up in my fucking seat.
Yeah, no, that's why I think that was so effective, the like reversing of the footage.
Because it's like almost that he thinking like shooting Hitler is gonna undo everything that's happened to him and that's happened.
Yeah, like he can somehow go back to what his life was before he made this decision.
And like Luke, what you were saying about how it does very much feel like a coming of age movie in a certain way of like, because initially when they have the group photograph, it's like he still has that naive kind of innocence where he thinks of war as like this fun, happy kind of like big like summer camp where he's just there with all of his friends and he's just getting like a picture with them. But then by the time the second sort of photograph motif comes around and like the German officer is holding a gun to his head and they're getting a picture with him, it's like you can just see how his face is just completely changed and like how this circumstance that this picture is being taken in versus the first one. And it just shows like everything that this character has gone through and everything that's sort of happened.
Were you expecting the movie to be worse or less than it was, like in terms of how like shocking it was?
Like I had seen the still of like the second picture and it still like shocked me.
I was expecting maybe the events not to be like exactly like that, but I think it's just as horrifying as I imagined it would be.
I think it's exactly what I expect it to be.
I think I know what you mean.
Often when I watch movies that are supposed to be like super fucked up, I'm like, okay, this will sound weird to say, but I'm kind of underwhelmed when I'm finished them because I build them up to be much worse in my head than what they are when I actually watch them. And this was not one of those. This was exactly what I expected it to be.
I think this was actually like more frightening than I thought it would be. I think the scene that got to me the most is just when they burned down that like house or like that like barn with all the people in it, and then all like the SS people are just like watching, and then they're like laughing
and pointing,
and they're like cheering.
The
and shit.
barn,
It's like,
yeah.
oh my god.
And like you can just hear the muffled screams from the barn as they just get weaker and weaker.
Yeah.
And then when they they have like multiple rounds, like when they bring out the flamethrowers again, it's just like, who are you? Like how do you get to this point of desensitization? So I don't want to like talk about the horrific shit like too much and just like harp on it, because it's like that kind of feels like it's taking away from it to like focus on it too much. But it's just the level of like depersonalization and just sort of like dehumanization you have to like reach to sort of do this to
That's
other
exactly
people.
what I was gonna say. Like I was watching it and I was thinking, like, how do you get there as a human? How does that happen to somebody?
I mean, that's authoritarianism though, right? It's like this, you completely brainwashed everybody into like thinking that this is like the way of life and this is normal. This is what you're supposed to think. And if you don't think that, you're like weird and you're crazy.
They're literally herding them into the barn like an animal.
The German is like the officer is like proud of it. He's like, yeah, I'm the one who said kids have to stay because the kids are the source of the problem. Like, not all countries should survive.
It made me mad when I watched that, and then I'm like thinking like there's people, like a non-zero amount of people alive today who would watch that and be like, yeah, it's justified.
People who can watch this movie and like not get anything out of it are the exact type of people being portrayed in it.
I feel like this is the movie out of any other movie where I get like just a huge like pit in my stomach of just like fear.
It's not like the troubles that were happening in the 40s and like people like believing in this crazy guy. It's not like they're like gone, you know? There's still like literally we saw that like last week. Like we literally saw people like wearing like anti-Semitic things. 6 million wasn't enough. Yeah. We literally see like neo-Nazis like just like chilling, walking into the Capitol.
Current president is endorsing it.
We're like, that's probably why that movie is so terrifying.
Nothing's changed.
Question is, will it ever stop being relevant?
Which is really fucking depressing to think about. We hope that it would.
Yeah, I mean, like, I hope so, but
The fact that it isn't right now is just...
that's like concerning.
Oh shit! Should I read the title? What it means?
Come and see.
Okay, so Luke generously let me borrow his Criterion copy so I could watch it without with a better bit rate. Was that the reasoning?
Or something. I feel like just streaming quality. It's like if you watch it on a disc, you're not going to get buffering, and also the bit rate and stuff is better.
Why did you think it was called Come and See?
I thought it was called Come and See because it was just like...
You want to be able to come and see the movie.
Well, no, because it's like it's such like a horrific like
showcase,
like demonstration of like just like the worst of humanity, and it's like if everybody saw this movie, maybe people would be under like have a more like visceral understanding of like how fucked up like the Nazis were. Like I feel like there's people out there who can like fall down those rabbit holes of getting radicalized, and maybe if they saw this movie, they'd be like, what the fuck? Yeah, it's like, come and see, look at this like confront humanity. That's what I thought it was.
It's like challenging the viewer, like, come on, like, check this out.
And then I, right after finishing the movie, opened up the little pamphlet that comes with it. First line in it says, Revelation 6:7-8. When he had opened the fourth seal, I heard the voice of the fourth beast say, come and see. And I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with him. And I thought that was cool because originally I had the same idea of what it meant as Luke did. But I think knowing that it's sort of integrated into what the point is really, like, it doesn't change my perspective of the film, but it changes how the title makes me feel. Because, you know, otherwise I would see the title and think that it's instead, you know, now knowing that it's about what is mainly, you know, death.
Just like, it's just like hell itself. Yeah, basically. Like that movie is like probably what hell is like.
Yeah, I was thinking about like movies that can sort of like either like portray situations that are just like feel like this is what hell is, like this is the lowest point that you can experience as a human, like, and like other movies that sort of like a very different kind of movie, but like another one though everyone's like the most disturbing like fucked up thing, like Climax kind of thing, where it like a very like a slow descent.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
That reaches like these just unbelievable pits of human evil that you just, well, maybe it's less so about atrocities in Climax, but just sort of like
humanity coming out.
Yeah, like the depths of existence.
I think they're both to a point about what we hide as humans. Like we sort of hide in history, you know, how fucking horrible some of the stuff the Nazis did was. And in Climax, they're trying to hide who they truly are. And then when they're spiked, it sort of comes out.
Yeah, it's just, I guess the difference is Climax is more like introspective of like the human nature of, and then Come and See is more like, this is like how humans treat each other.
Yeah, exactly. Like Climax is more like, it's like a forced, like
they don't try to have that part of them come out, but it does.
I like, it's like you're forced to just kind of like have your like inner thoughts come out.
I don't know about you guys, but multiple times in this conversation, like remembering parts of the movie, I'm like,
yeah,
kind of like getting like chills and stuff.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, I've been there this whole time.
It's hard to shake it off after you watch it too.
Yeah. This movie has an effect on you. The last movie that made me feel this way was fucking Prisoners. And comparing how fucked up this was to how fucked up Prisoners feels like daycare.
Yeah, but like the things you see happening in this movie is like, this isn't even the worst of what happened within the last 100 years of our existence.
Oh my God, no.
Like people in my family who are still alive today who were alive while this was happening. And what we're seeing here is only just the smallest snapshot of everything else.
Exactly. There's so much going on, and probably so much that we probably won't ever find out about just because of like burning of documents and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like this single event within this one town that we see feels like the lowest point that anything could be when we're watching it.
And it's like not.
It was just it's just the tip of the iceberg.
At the end of the movie, it's like 648 Belarusian villages were burned down. And it's like, how do you even grasp that happening like 647 more times? And then how do you grasp like 6 million people dying?
That's like
It's
the big event of the movie that you walk away with, and then thinking that happens.
That's only a snapshot of like
Yeah.
countless other examples just like it or even worse than it.
I'd say this of anything, like, you know, there's like so much media that tries to like, because like a history lecture can't really make you feel how like how this movie does. And there's a lot of media that tries to like really like get you to have that feeling of just like horror of like what the Nazis did. And there's a lot of movies that do that, but I feel like this one really like hit me the most.
I feel like Showa could hit harder because like Showa is like real people talking about it for 9 hours.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the full thing.
I need to get them.
This might honestly be like the most frightening movie I've ever seen.
Oh yeah, it 100%.
It might be as well. I think Eraserhead was more of a nightmare for me.
Really?
But I haven't seen that in like a year and a half. So in recent memory, definitely this.
Manny,
What?
it's too long.
I know, Tegan.
It's too long.
I'm gonna get on
Is this
that.
the most frightening movie you've seen, Tegan?
I don't really know how I can compare that, considering I've never felt scared.
From a movie.
Of a movie.
From a movie.
I've never felt
I
scared.
never felt scared.
Guys, I've never felt fear.
You're like Steven Yeun's character in Burning. I've never cried in my whole life.
I've never
actually.
cried
I
in my
literally,
life.
it's so nice watching people feel scared because it's like I've never felt that before. Do you
Tegan.
not understand, guys? I'm literally quoting Burning. I'm literally quoting Burning.
Okay.
I'm quoting Burning. You guys made a Burning reference, and then I quote
Look,
Burning,
I don't
and
remember
you're
the
like
whole
confused.
script. I don't remember the whole script.
I don't have the screenplay pulled up.
I'm not Steven Yeun himself.
That's like an iconic moment though, where he's like watching her cry, and he's like, "It's so cute watching you cry because I don't cry."
All right. Do we want to have final thoughts on the movie? Everyone just says
final
one more
thoughts.
thing.
Final thoughts.
Would you guys give it? Would you guys give it out of 10?
Oh, it's a 10. It's perfect.
Same here.
It's like one of the most incredible things I've ever seen, honestly.
I gave it like a 9.5.
I'd probably give it like a 9.5 too.
So where does the half point come off?
I feel like if I rewatched it, maybe it'd be a 10.
I don't know for me, honestly. 10 just doesn't feel right.
Really?
There's some movies that I watch it and I'm like, get so hyped in the moment of like, oh, that was so fucking good. I'm going to give it a 10. But then after sitting and thinking about it, it's like, okay, I was a bit too excited thinking about it. It's a 9. Maybe if I watch it again, it'll be a 10. But with this, it's like by the end of the movie, I was sitting there and like, I can't think of a single thing that would make this better or a single thing that was wrong with this. And then after sitting on it for another couple days, it's like still, I can think of very few other movies that were this successful or this impactful. Like every single aspect, even like just like going past like the themes and ideas, just like every single technical aspect. Like it's one of the most beautiful movies I've ever seen, just visually stunning.
Yeah, maybe that's where it comes off for me because I'm not like, I thought it looked nice, but I wasn't like, it's definitely not the most like beautiful thing I've ever seen.
All of my favorite movies are ones where like very specific imagery just like stay planted in my mind for days after watching. This is definitely the same. Like there's like dozens of shots that I can just like think of like just immediately like
Yeah, like I feel like I remember every shot.
oh yeah, like the bombing shot through like in the forest, or like, you know, the photography shot, or like just like all of the fucking profile pictures of him and like all of his facial expressions, like all of them that look like movie posters just because they're so memorable. They just like get seared into your brain.
It's like portrait to portrait. This movie like messes you up. It's like every time you sort of like get a portrait shot of his face, you're like checking in on how he's doing, and it's just like looking worse and worse.
Every time his face is just drained of color. There's more just like lines and scars and markings, and just you can see the years in his eyes, and you can see how everything is affected. Like, how do you act with your eyes in that way? Like, even just looking through his eyes, it feels like you can see genuinely this entire experience weighing on him. And it's like, how do you act that?
It was just totally sold that he just like lost everything.
Yeah.
Like this, everything that happened to him, it's like there's no going back. Like his entire, everyone he knew was like gone, and he's just like left into the army, and he's probably gonna get on some like train or something and go to some other situation like this, and there's like nowhere safe he can be.
I don't like thinking about that.
Yeah. That's something I think about a lot, is like you see characters in movies and it's like ambiguous what's gonna happen to them once the credits roll, and this is like maybe the most so, like, because you just hear the army people like calling him, come on, we got to get going, and it's like, where's he gonna go now? Are the events of this movie just gonna repeat themselves again and again for him?
Honestly, I don't think it's ambiguous at all. I think like that's exactly what's gonna happen. There's no other life for him. There's nowhere else he can go. At that time there was nothing else somebody like that could do.
What's most terrifying is this idea, like, you can't live a life where you just decide to not be involved.
Yeah.
Like, if you kept living at your house, they'd come to your village and they'd massacre everyone.
You don't really get to just like escape and like go somewhere else.
It's like with wars in like the Middle East or something, we can like sit here and not have to be involved in it. But like, what if you like didn't have a place where you couldn't be involved in it? And that's what's so horrifying about like conscription and like civilian massacres and stuff. It's like, it just makes the world just like hell.
Yeah, it's like a coming of age story where like his entire life is just gradually destroyed, and by the end he's like, he has nothing left, so all he can do is just keep going or just like stay there and die.
It honestly feels kind of shitty that like sometimes some people, me being one of them, have to actually watch this movie to like fully grasp how privileged you are to not live in this type of situation, and you can't even separate yourself and be like, oh, it was 80 years ago. Like, this is happening now in places.
It's not like this doesn't happen to people anymore. Like, there are events going on right now that just pretty much mimic this.
As long as humans are alive, this movie will never not be important.
Which is really fucking bleak to think about, but it's important, and I'm really glad this movie exists as just a way of showing that.
What a cheery opening episode of the podcast.
Yeah, welcome to Film Canister, first episode. Oh my
Welcome to the Film Canister. Let's talk about war atrocities, guys. Okay, final thoughts.
9.5 out of 10, probably gonna be a 10 soon. One of the most horrifying things I've ever seen.
Perfect movie.
Maybe the easiest 10 I've ever given something in my life.
Maybe as well.
That wouldn't be Blue Velvet for me. Easiest
Tegan can't go one of these podcasts without talking about Blue Velvet.
One podcast episode. Everybody, take a shot every time Tegan doesn't mention Blue Velvet.
That is true. The Film Canister actually smells like pickles.
Manny.
Why did you say it to me?
Was this Manny's pickle jar?
No, it's not.
Oh, yeah, it is. That was Manny's pickle jar.
It is his pickle jar. It smells like pickles.
Wait, are you using my You're using my pickle jar.
We're not going to give anybody listening context.
Manny made us pickles for Christmas. Manny gave me and Luke pickles for Christmas.
For Christmas?
He made them himself, and they were really good, but the jar still smells like dill.
Why are you using it for... We should get an actual film canister so we're not lying to our audience.
I have some.
Maybe we should start like a Q&A section if we get anyone who listens.
Yeah.
They can ask us a question that we can answer.
We have a listener.
Who?
We have one listener already.
Who is that?
My friend Zoe.
Hi, Zoe. Thanks for listening.
Shout out to my friend Zoe.
Shout out.
If anyone has a question, I'm talking to you, Zoe. Leave it in the YouTube comments.
What happens in this movie?
Are we ready?
Are we ready to roll a new movie?
Yeah.
Are we ready?
Yeah, let's give it a new roll.
Wait, we didn't build up to this. We're rolling a new movie. We have stopped talking about Come and See.
Come and See discussion is over.
Guys, sorry, it's over.
Should I go down and get a snare?
Send me the audio and I'll put it in, okay? Okay. You see, the problem with writing these on sticky notes is that... Okay, I got one. Oh, it's me.
Wait, you're picking the person first? What? No, we didn't do that last time.
Yeah, we did. We chose me, and then I chose... Yes, we did. Okay.
Yeah, we did.
Holy shit.
See, Jack, you're gonna look like you have awful memory because everyone's gonna be listening to this having heard us pick like half an hour earlier.
Yeah.
I do have awful memory. I have terrible memory.
Guys, just so you know, it's been a week since we recorded the first section where we chose Come and See.
What do you mean? It's been how long is the movie? It's been 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Yeah, we recorded this right after we
all watched it at the same time.
Over a Discord call.
Yeah.
Joking the entire time.
This would be the worst movie to watch like in a Discord call with like a bunch of friends who aren't really watching it or like
because it's either going to be really disrespectful or like nobody talks and then afterwards you just leave without saying anything. Hot take, this is the best party movie.
Well, this is a good movie to like put in at like a party where everyone's like acting up and everyone just like shuts up and they're like, oh shit.
Oh, sorry.
If you ever need a party to quiet down, just like make people watch this movie.
Okay, we're gonna pick a topic.
Stick your hand in the thing.
And it smells like pickles. something you've been meaning to watch for a long time.
Oh, the classic one.
Okay, where's my phone? I'm gonna go on Letterboxd.
I kind of wanted that one.
Okay, next episode we're gonna be talking about 12 Monkeys by Terry Gilliam.
Oh shit!
I have been meaning to watch that one for a while as well.
I have had this on my watch list for the longest time, and I swear I was like, for the longest time, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna watch 12 Monkeys this week, and that was probably like a few, like a year ago or something. So
Incoming Brad Pitt thirst review from Jack.
yeah,
Just a warning.
Yeah, I always hear people say like the only movies with time travel that make sense is Primer and 12 Monkeys, and I've seen one of those. Yeah,
Doesn't Primer like not make sense?
it doesn't make sense to me, but it probably makes sense.
it makes sense if you look up a YouTube video and watch it a couple times.
I didn't understand half of it after like the first hour.
Did you watch the YouTube video I sent you though?
I did not.
There's a guy who's got like he's got like popsicle sticks with like the characters' faces printed on them, and he's like holding them up and he's like explaining how it all works. So
Luke,
it's a pretty.
I just want you to know, if you're fucking with me, I'm gonna be really sad.
It's real.
If that video doesn't actually exist, I'm going to cry.
It does.
Popsicle stick. Luke.
It's real.
Oh no, it's real. Here it is. Oh my god, this is incredible. Why aren't there more of these?
I know, right? Okay, the context of me picking a Terry Gilliam movie is also that I have not watched a Terry Gilliam movie that I've liked.
Honestly, Brazil, I liked it when I watched it, and then I just like it hasn't stayed well in my memory.
That's how I wasn't into Brazil really. I gave that like a 3 out of 5. And then Fear and Loathing on Las Vegas, I gave it like a 7 out of 10. So I've been kind of lukewarm on these Terry Gilliam movies. Well, I what I meant when I said I didn't like it, I mean, I just haven't like loved any of his stuff. And I do like his style. It's just there's something about the way like the stories have been told that I just like wasn't totally into. So I'm hoping the time travel one I will be into it.
All right, is that everything?
Yeah, I think so.
Boo-doop boop.
Oh, is that your outro?
That's the
Tegan?
end.
Yeah, it's the
That's the
outro.
outro. No.
Do it.
Boo-doop
Clip
boop.
it every time. So
Whoa.
our intro is some shitty riff that we made.
Yeah.
And then the outro is Tegan going boo doo boo. I think we got the inner workings of a good podcast here,
I
guys.
agree.
We're
Boo-doop boop.
destined to success.
That's our like catchphrase.
Boo-doop boop.
We're gonna have
Boo-doop
like
boop.
Film Canister convention, and then everyone's gonna go up to Tegan
Say
and
the
be
line.
like, say boo-doo boop.
Boo-doop
Say the
boop.
line.
Say the thing.
Boo-doop boop.
If you had like a gigantic lineup of fans and they were all asking you to say it, and you had to say it like 200 times in a day.
I would scream it off the rooftops.
Huh?
Boo-doop boop.
What are you saying? I'm confused.
Name of the episode, boo doo boop.
Okay, so next week we're gonna be talking about 12 Monkeys by Terry Gilliam. How does everyone feel going into it?
I'm excited. I don't know exactly what to expect. I don't know that much about anything that happens in the movie, so just go in with fresh expectations.
My prediction is that I'm going to like Brad Pitt, but hate the aesthetic.
It's a bold prediction.
I will do 12 monkey-related workout things if I am wrong.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Or just, yeah, it looks like a very visually dark movie, but then just with like a lot of like glowing green.
It looks like the end of Blade Runner.
Okay, I feel like Jack bases his entire expectation of a movie's look off the backdrop image on Letterboxd.
That is completely true, and I'm not even gonna bother hiding it. I told you that yesterday. That's why I don't want to watch Repo Man. It looks gross.
Yeah, because it's just two guys sitting in a car. That's your entire conception of that movie.
It's two guys sitting in a car, and one of them is Harry Dean Stanton, who just gives me bad
I
vibes.
love Harry Dean Stanton. Okay, why does he give you bad vibes?
No, I don't know. No, because he's a wonderful actor. I love him in Paris, Texas. He just gives me weird vibes. I don't know. I think
Oh.
Paris, Texas is like an exception to that.
Okay, well that's all I've seen him in, so I get good vibes from
Oh
him.
well, he's gross in Inland Empire. He's gross in Alien.
He's fun. I like him in Repo Man. He's good.
Well, I don't like Repo Man.
I fucking hate Repo Man.
Have you seen Repo Man?
Fucking hate
Jack?
Repo Man.
Go rate it a 1-star on Letterboxd without having seen it.
How much you want to bet? How much will you pay me to do that? I will give Repo Man a 1
Do
star
it.
right now.
And wait, no, review it
Do
with
it.
the caption, "This movie fucking sucks."
This movie fucking sucks. I can't pull a Luca. Oh no, Luca gave it 5
Luca,
stars.
yeah,
Oh.
Luca loves Repo Man.
I'll pay you 5 cents.
No. that would I wouldn't gain anything from that. I would actively not like that.
like,
I would rather you give me nothing than 5 cents. I'm dead honest.
If you see a nickel on the street, do you bend over and pick it up?
It's not worth the effort of bending over.
What about a dime?
Okay, maybe.
Okay, what if I give you 10 cents?
Fuck, you got me.
Yes.
So me and Manny both give you a nickel, so you have 10 cents.
No, I wouldn't do it for a nickel.
Two
No,
nickels.
it's 2 nickels.
I wouldn't bend over for a dime.
Okay, a quarter.
Whoa, we already said he'd do it for
No,
a dime.
he just said
We're
he
not going to
wouldn't.
quarter.
Manny, don't do that.
No, I didn't say I'd do it for a dime.
You did. What?
Jack's trying to ramp up the price.
Jack is trying to
Fuck.
gaslight
You're
us.
haggling us a
Leave the
bit.
call quickly. They'll never catch me.
Okay, Jack, 2 quarters.
Stop.
What? Stop,
It's
Manny.
50 cents. It went from 5 cents to 50.
He said he'd do it for a dime. He can't
No,
guess.
he changed his mind.
I did not. I said I would. I said I might bend over and pick up a dime. I didn't say I would do it for a dime.
No, you said if I gave you a dime, you said, oh.
Roll back the recording. Roll back the recording. This has all been taped. This has all been taped. You can't gaslight me like this.
What about a dime?
Okay, maybe.
Okay, what if I give you 10 cents?
Fuck, you got me.
All right, so we're here in the editing room, and I'm going to show Jack this. What about a dime?
Okay, maybe.
Okay, what if I give you 10 cents?
Fuck, you got me. That's not confirmation.
Yes, it is.
I didn't say yes. I said, "Oh fuck, you got me" in a sarcastic, joking way.
Mhm.
You're not doing this.
I feel like I
was a good edit. That was a good edit, but you have not caught me because I never said yes.
Well,
I said, "Oh fuck, you got me." That's not like That's not a confirmation. It's a joke, Luke.
Okay, but this whole thing's a joke. So clearly that you're already admitting defeat.
You're a joke, Luke. You're a joke.
Shit.
What's my starting price? Okay, well, previously I had somebody pay me $15 to change my rating on a movie. So I'm gonna say 15
Okay,
bucks.
let's make that
Whoa.
5.
Let's make
Manny's
that
God.
5 cents.
Manny, considering both of our integrities, I'm not gonna take that deal just because I would feel bad taking $5 from you to just give Repo Man a 1 star.
Okay,
It's easier to hack Jack's letterbox.
maybe.
I bet you can't guess my
I
password.
bet it's like
Repo Man
I
sucks.
bet it's fucking Luca Guadagnino or some shit.
Luca Guadagnino is hot. 1, 2, 3.
Woncar Guadagnino. That's what it is.
Why? No. All right, 12 monkeys.
All right, let's go.
Not 1, not 2.
Wait, what's the
not
song
three.
about the
Okay,
monkey
you're not
jumping
doing
on the
this. You're
bed?
not doing this. You are not doing this, Luke.
Let's just end it.
Follow us on Letterboxd.
Follow us.
Letterboxd.com/DrBeesMD.
Letterboxd.com/mahogany doors.
I don't know what mine is. I think mine's Tegan Isabel with an E at the end of it.
Tegan doesn't exist when you turn this podcast off.
Tegan's a
She's just
figment
Luke
of
with
our
like a girl
imagination.
filter.
Yeah, you know.
All right.
Goodbye.
Drop us an outro, Tegan.